Thoughts between Chapter 13 and Chapter 14. Autumn 2021. We've been watching a popular, well-made British period drama series lately. The series starts around 1912, and currently we're rounding out Season 2 in 1920. Change has always been a great struggle for me. Fighting change, accepting change, dealing with change. I've had a very hard time with change for years. Man, I don't even like to move furniture around. The past year has been particularly challenging, let's say. I wanted to say hard. A worldwide pandemic hit, and it felt like the rug of all that was familiar has been pulled out from underneath us. A lot of anxiety that I've had this past year has stemmed from changes that are hurtling in with lightning speed. To me, it's been uncomfortable. Some of it has been a prolonged, manageable discomfort, and some of it has caused me to go into my bedroom, close the door, and weep. 2020 and 2021 has basically said, fuck what you know and expect. It all was causing me a great deal of stress and distress. One night we were watching an episode that focused in part on the family having a telephone installed in their home. This was causing a lot of commotion. Nobody really knew how to use it. They were ambivalent to learn how to use it, and some of them thought it was an abomination. The telephone, this most inconceivable new piece of technology. That really struck me, and then I started thinking about it even more. In this period of time, people were seeing electricity come into homes and buildings, and cars appearing on streets that had previously only had horses and carriages. By 1920, horse-drawn carriages had virtually disappeared. In those early days of electricity and the telephone and cars, some of the characters on the show were clearly distressed by these changes, as I imagine people would have been in real life. They found them overwhelming. And I was thinking about this, and imagining how it must have been to live in a time when all of these changes were happening in the world. They would have to be met with a lot of fear, unease, resistance. Not by everyone, of course. Add World War I into the mix. You get the point. The world has seen a tremendous amount of change. I think of Dad saying when he was a kid they had a coal cellar in their basement to receive the coal needed to heat the house. And how he said when the ice truck came around to bring the big pieces of ice that would keep home ice boxes cold, he and his friends would run along behind the truck because shards of ice would chip off as the truck barreled along, and the happy kids would grab them up to suck on them. But anyway, change. It feels like we haven't seen a dramatic amount of change in the past many years of my life, but we have now. It was an epiphany for me. It highlighted my resistance to change and how I've been fighting it or running from it for a very, very long time. I made an important decision after that has to do with what's going on currently. I have slowly but surely stopped resisting things. I'm not saying a person should give up, but think of it as a go-with-the-flow kind of attitude. Think of it as the path of least resistance. Think of it like the day I was watching the river running along, green and cold, in very early spring, and the chunks of ice that had broken apart and simply floated along with the current. I don't know. Just something to ponder, that we can sometimes be the block in our own lives. Sometimes we can help ourselves immensely just by relearning to trust ourselves, quiet all the noise in our minds and hearts, and let the strong, quiet voice of intuition return to make the right decisions for us, to help us float along that great stream of less resistance because we have faith in ourselves and faith that something better is out there waiting for us.